What is perfection and how we can reach the perfection? In Greek mythology, Icarus tried to reach the sun using the waxed wing, and in the Bible, Babylon tried to reach the sky by building a tower using their new invention bricks. However, both attempts fail in the end. Icarus' waxed wing melted away as it got close to the sun, and God punished people and scattered them as the Tower of the Babylon approached the sky. In this video, I'm going to talk about the movie Black Swan by Darren Aronofsky, which was the opening film of the Venice Film Festival. The basic story of the Black Swan is the protagonist Nina trying for the audition for the Black Swan role in the Swan Lake, and as she played the role in the Black Swan, she started changing and developed her own identity. I have seen many interpretations about the movie in terms of her puberty, or trying to connect with the concept with some method acting. However, I want to talk about the perfection itself. The movie tried to capture the pure concept of the perfection and try to discuss how we can reach them. So in this video, I want to address the director's idea of perfection and how he proposed to reach the perfection. And let me conclude with my personal thoughts. The first question is, what is perfection? The answer to the first question is given when Nina didn't get her part as a Black Swan and she approaches director Thomas. She expressed that she wants to be perfect.
Want to be perfect.
Perfection is not just about control. It's also about letting go.
So perfection is not about controlling yourself for the perfection. Rather, we need to abandon the rules and forms that keep us in custody. When we can break this rule and expectation, we can finally become free and reach the perfection. This definition seems simple, but it's hard to understand. So the movie is kindly further explained through the new ballerina, Lily. Thomas sees Lily and said to Nina,
Watch the way she moves. Imprecise, but effortless. She's not faking it.
so what is Nina controlling? We can see mom's expectation, the cake she wants to eat, the sexual desires. Nina controls herself to be perfect through like bloody practice. But ironically, Nina, through the spontaneous Lily, she begins to learn how to get out of control. Lily helps Nina to truly free herself, such as a drug and sexual desires, the one she considered as a taboo, and Nina became awakened. Because of this awakening, Nina started to face her reality and panic. Nina started fighting with her mother, who she was afraid of, and get rid of all the dolls represent the puppet of other expectations. So, did Nina reach the perfection yet? The answer is no. In the movie, Nina pursued to become a perfect black swan, but Nina couldn't be more than a white swan. She was able to escape from the control and expectation, but even during her performance, she was neither a white swan nor black swan. It's because there's one thing that she hasn't get rid of: herself. Because of that, she made a mistake during the performance and came into the waiting room, and she faced Lily, who is dressed in Black Swan. Lily said she will play the Black Swan for her, and Nina cannot accept that and threw Lily into the mirror. The mirror breaks, and she kills her. But Nina realized that she didn't kill Lily, but her own body, which is the last limitation to reach the perfection. The role of the mirror in the movie is clear. Mirrors project her identities, and we can see how she changes and the limitation and expectation of her changes. Finally, by crushing the mirror, she killed her own ego as the last step. Nina finally getting what she wanted, the perfect Black Swan. After killing herself, Nina finally reached the perfection. Now she continued the performance. In conclusion, the movie trying to define perfect as a coming out of the system, such as a social perspective, control from people around you, and her own body and herself. And by killing herself, she can reach the perfection. And here's my personal favorite scene in the movie, and this reminds me of Icarus in the Greek mythology. And she reached the perfection.
I felt it.
What?
Perfect. It was perfect.
The title of the movie is Black Swan because we believe that Black Swan does not exist. Black Swan represents a metaphor that describes an event that comes as a surprise. Such as Trump becoming a president was a good example of the Black Swan because nobody expected. In the movie, the Black Swan represents the perfection, which we can assume that maybe director believes or he is teasing the situation that the reaching of perfection is almost impossible. In the movie, we can find that Nina's role model, Beth, also tried to reach the perfection and failed. Right before the Beth, Nina is looking at the Icarus statues and Beth appears. This makes me to think that Beth also tried and failed and the destiny of her death.
Beth? I'm so sorry to hear you leave.
When I finished watching the movie, I couldn't stop thinking about the German philosopher Nietzsche. Nietzsche also tried to define transcendence of human, which we can imply the perfection in the movie. He tried to explain the spirits of human as a several stages to become a superhuman called Übermensch. It's like a caterpillar becoming a butterfly. We are like a caterpillar. He defines 3 states from the Thus Spoke Zarathustra: camel crossing the desert, carrying heavy load with the patient, and the lion who wins freedom and is owner of the desert, and the forgetful baby that creates values. Nietzsche described camel such as what is heavy, thus as the carrying spirit. It kneels down like a camel and wants to be well loaded. At the beginning of the movie, the director shows Nina follow the order of her mom, who is like puppet and doll, patiently practicing the ballet over and over again. It shows Nina is a camel, obeying and patiently walk in the desert. And then Nietzsche said, but in loneliest desert, the second metamorphosis occurs. Here the spirit becomes lion, it wants to hurt down its freedom, and be master in its own desert. The lion here, for its own value, rebel toward the system. On the contrary, the desert is trying to maintain the existing idea and values. The owner of the desert, such as a mother in the movie, trying to regulate Nina, and she fight with her, win the freedom, and she become a lion and become a true owner of the desert. And she prepares for the next stage. The child is innocent and forgetting, a new beginning, a game, a wheel rolling out for itself, a first movement, and sacred yes saying. The child represented in the movie as a transcendence, perfection, Superman, or Übermensch. Unfortunately, I don't understand the transcendence yet. But in the movie, I think Nina approached that stage, and I'm sure that she tasted the perfection. In the movie, Nina was killed by herself to reach the perfection, and I think it was the most beautiful ending. Thank you for watching.